Hey everybody, East Coast Reefer here, and it looks like I'm in a bit of a weird place. I'm in my messy shed. So today's video is about 3D printing. So I thought I'd better start in the shed with the 3D printer. So here it is. This is my Anycubic Mega X. So, I mean, any 3D printer will do. You don't want a resin printer because food safe resin is insanely expensive. So get yourself a filament extrusion 3D printer, and you need to get yourself PETG. So if you print with a standard PLA, there's nothing wrong with PLA. It won't harm your tank, but it's designed to be very biodegradable. So I can't imagine your 3D prints would last a huge amount of time in the tank. So let's take a look now at what I've 3D printed. So one of the first things I printed was a Stormtrooper outfit. This is just the helmet, and that was the main reason I purchased the printer. But I probably sound really weird in that. The surrounds for my Reef LED 90s, because I sit at the desk next to it and they were shining right in my eyes, messing with my webcam. So I 3D printed these, and they just slide over the top. They've got little vent holes to keep the ventilation. But yeah, it was a great little device. I also 3D printed this feeding portal, so it fits in the D&D feeding portal hole, and you can just drop frozen food in that and it will defrost and flow throughout the tank. What else have I 3D printed? So my switch box for the Apex. So I 3D printed that and designed it so I could screw it to the side of a cabinet at one point. I also 3D printed this stuff. So somewhere to keep my refractometer. I was always digging through drawers to find all of these. So yeah, pipettes, feeding, turkey baster, feeding tube, nets, the lot. It's all in here. I've 3D printed frag racks to then go into the mag mount and everything. And then of course my frag dome here. I could probably still tweak the design a little bit to make it a bit better, but I wanted something to keep my lower light demand frags that wasn't up on this rack. So there are some mushrooms up on that rack at the back, but they're mostly, or one of them is definitely in the shade, but they don't seem to care. But certainly these alveopora down here, they were kind of really pulled in and weren't flowing or out like this at all. So I wanted somewhere to put them lower down, and obviously quite a few Zoa frags on that. I wanted somewhere to put them as well. So you'll see in the footage now just how I went about it and my failed revision 1. I hope it's useful. So attempt 1 is a bit of a failure. I need to make the holes for the frag plugs a little bit bigger, and I need to cut some cavities in it so it will sink. Apart from that, everything was great. So back in my very messy shed, now printing revision 2, hopefully the final revision, but you never know with these kind of things. I've hollowed it out so there's a lot less plastic there to float, and I've also added a bunch more holes so I can add more frag plugs and frags to add more weight to hopefully hold it down. So when that finishes, it's been printing for 14 hours. So if I can spin that down there. Yeah, 14 hours, it's 93% complete. So here we are with revision 2. I've hollowed out the underneath a lot more, so there's less plastic to float. I've put more holes in it as well, so you can weigh it down with more frag plugs. So let's see if it sinks or floats. So let's add some weight in there to start with. It still floats. Need more weight. So that now stays at the bottom just. So I need to move around some of them frag plugs because I want to put the Zoas down a bit lower. I think they're getting a little bit too much light at the top there, but I shall do that a bit later on and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully that works out all right now. Well, it's still at the bottom of the tank, so I guess the design wasn't too bad. I would probably tweak it if I was to print it again, just to take a bit more of the plastic away, make it that little bit lighter. But it works, that's the main thing. I'd be really interested to hear if any of you are 3D printing items for your tanks. I've purchased, sorry, that was the Reef mat. I've purchased some of the Hannah holders from Reef, and I love how neat and tidy they keep everything and how much space it saves compared to having all of the boxes. So maybe some of you out there have had some really ingenious ideas. If you have, I'd love to hear about them. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next video really soon.